Chelsea 2, Ipswich 2. Welcome back to FFB, amigos. And today's a sad one. We're talking Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, who took on Ipswich, who came and ruined Chelsea's destiny. By this, I mean Chelsea today loses control of their destiny, and we depend on other people's results to make top four. We could potentially drop to sixth if Newcastle were to win their two games in hand, but we're certainly in a tight spot. Not a great day today, but let's get into it. Before the match, like I said, we were fifth, potentially being able to fall to sixth. If we would have lost, it would have been guaranteed. We now depend on some other results, but certainly we are no longer in control of Champions League. The lineup seemed like a pretty strong 11. My only doubt is that if you're fielding such an important game, why is not Reece our captain in the match? Even if you want to play him in field or if you want to play him on the right. But in any case, I found it, given the circumstance, Fofana being out and with what we have, like it was pretty much the strongest team we could have laid out there. And in context, Ipswich is going to get relegated. So having this result, and they almost pulling a double on us. They almost pulled the 6 points off of Chelsea this season, which would have been ridiculous. And it's still only getting 1 point against Ipswich is insane, and sort of explains why so many Chelsea fans are upset. But I mentioned this because sometimes when teams are in a relegation battle, they can be really tough towards the end of the season. But in this case, they're pretty much relegated. And during the game, Wolves was getting an amazing result. So I don't think there's much hope left for them. So even with that, with more so, Chelsea should have been dominating this game. In any case, at the fourth minute, I do make a bit of a note. Sanchez with a poor start. He gave an attack away and immediately gave another one. So that's just a little reminder for me that I don't love this player. Many Chelsea fans don't. He does a couple of good saves here and there, but he gives the ball away quite too often. It wasn't a horrendous game, but right off the bat, it's pretty demoralizing to watch that. And after the first 10 minutes, Chelsea looked lively, and Madueke was looking lively, and we had two shots on target. It was looking, decent. 17th minute, same thing. Madueke's having a good game. He puts in a cross to Colwell. So what I find interesting there to see, because there was two plays where I saw Colwell in there, I'm not happy with what Chelsea are doing at that point. We're putting in these high crosses, and we know that Jackson's not necessarily good in the air, meeting those crosses. The person that meets those crosses, and he proved it today, usually it's Kukurea, and sometimes they're not a high cross. It's not crazy to put the ball in the box, but I think you got to beat your marker and put it down low. That's Chelsea biggest chance. We're not big in the air. But it was interesting to see our center back in attack. It reminds me of players like Lucio, old school center backs that'll come in for a header in open play. And okay, if you're going to be peppering some crosses, you need Colwell in there. So fair enough. It was a decent enough header. It would have been good if it came in, but it didn't. And in the first 20 minutes, and actually a lot of the first half, Palmer's not Palmer anymore. I think at this point, I don't think it's a patch. I think the rest of the season we can't count on him. He's a great player. He plays really well. I'm not gonna say that, but he's not this magical. He's lost that magic touch where he finishes, where he's unforgiving and he finishes, or these amazing passes. He lost just a little bit of the edge, and it's sad to see. And so he wasn't around. And in that sense, right? Because I think he had a good match, for a good player, but not a good match for a great player. And Fernandez was lost. We were really needed him really bad. And my thought there is like minute 20 is like we really need him to step up. Because a couple of minutes prior, Julio Enciso, Paraguayo, vamos hermano Paraguayo. And I hate you for scoring against Chelsea, but I think that's a very interesting young player. I really like him. He's been criticized in the past. I don't know why he doesn't play more. I was watching George Benson, as I usually watch the watch-alongs with him. And he was saying they don't have that much quality, but I think Enciso's quality. Definitely scores after some poor defending. And immediately Ipswich grew in confidence, and that they started running through Chelsea. Our defending became really poor in transition, which we really suffer. And when we're struggling against a low block and we throw bodies forward, and we have our left back or right back up there, we're not very good in transition. And as a matter of fact, they gained a lot of momentum. And as soon as Chelsea showed a little bit, boom, 30th minute goal from Ipswich, Ben Johnson. not the famous Olympian athlete. Might as well been. And they check. It was a great goal, and it's a great header finish. A very difficult angle. Is a good play. Kukureya is just not close enough, not good enough. I think Colwell took some responsibility for that goal as well. Just poor marking. Nothing to do with Sanchez. Nothing much you can do. They scored on him really well, and he doubles the lead. And Chelsea's collapsing. The defense certainly is collapsing. And then at the end of the first half, Chelsea just vanished after that second goal. And I thought it was a strange tactical choice today across the match. Um, we were putting in high crosses like the whole match, and we haven't scored from that. Like, I don't know if they're confident because they're running those plays in training and it's working or what the hell, but just peppering the box with, to be honest, not very great crosses. Not from anyone. Even the corners from Fernandez throughout the game were pretty trash. And we're peppering the box with mediocre crosses and high crosses. I'm not sure who's supposed to win those. However, I'll be a little bit humble there that one of the goals, Chelsea goals, came from a cross. So I get it, and it's insane that it has to be Kukureya. So the 46th minute, just 20 seconds in, Madueke breaks the line, and this is something we've seen before. He breaks the line the way he should, because I don't like I think the early cross is great for you FIFA players back in the day. Put that L1 cross in is good if you have a badass number 9, or there's enough space in behind where you can put an early cross into space. But I don't like it the way we're doing it today, and it didn't pay off. I mean, it really, really didn't, except for this one play, which again, it was more of a pass really than a cross, but it lands on Kukureya, and he closes the gap. Boom, 2-1. 64th minute. If they're still attacking, and they're still, look, it's desperate for us fans. I think Maresca could live with this, but you fans, you need to hang in there. When we're seeing this side to side, side to side, and then across to nobody, side to side, and across to nobody, it's going to drive us insane. But I can only think that our coach is okay with that. Um, that's what the evidence shows, right? Oh, and at the middle of the halftime substitution, Malu Gusto comes in and replaces Tosin. So I'm like, why are you taking out the tallest guy if you're trying to win this game with crosses and then set pieces, really? Because you're not making through another way. But fine. I think it was about speed and putting somebody that's a little bit more offensive on the field, running Chalaba into the center back role, which he's more than capable of doing. And it was just an interesting change. And actually, my desperation was whatever change need to happen. As always, I want him in the half. Now, what's really frustrating, guys, is that we saved a bunch of players. Supposedly, we played these silly games of resting against like Warsaw and this and that, whatever, to play this match, and I don't think the energy was there for us, and it's a little terrifying. But we'll get into that in the conclusions. And well, another one I didn't understand. Look, it paid off. But why the hell did we take? That's what I was thinking at the time. Why would we take out Madueke? He's the only one that's actually breaking the lines. He's the only one getting pass. Yes, his cutback passes weren't that great here or there, but he's the only one that really was taking good shots on cross, that was being able to take out defenders. Why would you take him out? Why would you take him out? And the answer was to put Nato on the right and put Sancho coming in where he did, and that's where the goal came from. But there was a lot of tactical confusion. If you were if you were to ask me, I don't know why the crosses are happening. I don't know why you took out that player. I don't know why Reece James, when you're coming into the 60th minute, certainly at halftime, but 60th minute, why would he be the one to bring in? Because he'll put in better crosses. He'll do better with set pieces. He can bring you a winner. If you're going to put any defender in that is not Kukureya, that is an offensive threat, it has to be Reece James. But look, I don't get paid for that to make those decisions. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Um, by the 70th minute, they do some swaps and some subs in Ipswich, and they bring in Liam Delap, which is pretty tragic because the guy was on the bench, and arguably he's the best attacking player or the best goal scoring player, or however you want to see it. Certainly the best number 9, given that Chelsea want to buy him, and he's sitting on Ipswich's bench, and they have the cojones to not bring him in till the end. And he came in. I think he did a good job. Then finally, in the 79th minute, we play from a corner. And I think the good thing about that is don't play the ball in first time since we're not winning any of those. And, Townsend is out and et cetera, et cetera. And they play back to Sancho, where it finally takes a shot on target. Y what a golazo from Jadon Sancho, making it 2-2. And unfortunately, they filled me with hope because there was 10 minutes left of gameplay and they ended up being six more. So it was 16 minutes in total that Chelsea had an opportunity to take this game. But to be honest, I wasn't very comfortable at all. I wasn't confident at all. There was a couple of opportunities, and so um, Fernandez had a couple of shots on target. One of them was a great pass, a Caicedo play, which I don't think he was particularly good or particularly bad. Of course, he's never bad. But offensively, I think we choose. That's the sad part of not having Lavia fit or something like that. Or in this case, James could have come in, which kind of pisses me off. But I think he has a lot to offer offensively when you're stuck in a game like this. If you get somebody else to fill that pivot role, that last defensive midfielder role, and allow him to come in more of an eight, at least he brings in the aggression and his press is very high, which allows you to probably increase the probability of errors in the other team. So we really missed out on that, I believe. But then again, I don't get paid to do this. I don't even get paid to do this. So even worse, I'm going to get paid to do any changes at Chelsea. But that's my view. And then, of course, nothing new. Nothing new. We gave away silly goals. We didn't we weren't tactically aware. We played this side to side. We didn't take advantage of opportunities. To be honest, I don't think there were as many clear opportunities. I think we're struggling to create them. Fernandez wasn't in there most of the game. Palmer is not the player he used to be. Jackson didn't have a good match, and on top of that, his conversion is not great. Towards the end, we saw Nkunku come in. I can only imagine what that felt like for the Chelsea fans. And I'll tell you this, there was a lot of booing at the first half, at the end of the first half. I don't know if you guys heard it. And that's a big concern. That's really bad for morale. I hate it. I hate it because it doesn't help with the morale of the players. And in the big picture, that's not the best. And I've always said it's not the player's fault, right? If you keep getting played by the manager, in this case, coach, you keep being played by the coach, and he's giving you a losing strategy, and you guys are not figuring out. It's not it's not in Kuku's fault that he keeps getting played. It's not in Robert Sanchez's fault that he gets bought and he gets played. And we don't know who to blame exactly in that. Sometimes Maresca, sometimes the board. We don't know what the pressures are there, but there's some things that us fans feel are not great. Again, I'm humble enough to say, look, we don't see what happens in training, and there's things that we may not know, but things are not going well. Chelsea today is a huge loss. And right now, we would have to win almost every game and really need City. I'm looking at the table right now. That's why I'm looking sideways. But we were lucky enough that Forest dropped some points. But City seemed to be up and coming. You can see it in the results. You can certainly see in their play. I did the review this match. They came back from a 2 down to win 4-2, which is something we couldn't do. Like De Bruyne came back at that match, we would have needed Palmer to do that, right? That magic player, they had their magic player, and that's what happened. He dominated that game. It was the Kevin De Bruyne show, and he brought him back. We have Villa, who has 4 wins in a row, Papo. 4 wins in a row, coming hot on our heels. And Newcastle got 3 wins in a row. They're doing really well, and they have 2 games in hand. So with the momentum, it means Chelsea's at a top 4, maybe even top 6, to be honest with you, because it would be a little drastic to get caught by Fulham, but it's still mathematically possible and certainly on form. But this, amigos, sadly is to say, Chelsea on the current trajectory will not have Champions League next year. So brace yourself for that. Something would have to change. I don't see what exactly or how. I haven't seen anything change in patterns of play so much to say that in the remaining 5-6 games that we have, we can really turn this around and keep City, Villa, and Newcastle at bay. But I'm still going to try to be positive. I'm still going to be hopeful. I'm still going to support the team. Come on, you Blues. Come on, you Blues. Come on, you Blues.